Peace. This is Brother Hatim. I'd like to welcome y'all to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and this is Freestyle Nia and a Heart of a Simple production. Well, we strive always to blow up those old paradigms. So I have some thoughts throughout the day about Nia. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into that in a minute. But what I really want to kind of talk about right now, yeah, you seen Cleve, that was Cleve. Hey Cleve, Wiz said what's up. All right. So we know that the inauguration is coming. I kind of thought it was yesterday. That was me. I don't know, So the inauguration is coming, but I want to look a little bit more into what they call these leaks. You know what I'm saying? Because not just the leaks, but they saying that the Russians influenced the election. Freestyle Friday, we got news. So we're going to talk about Nia. We're going to talk about the great pumpkin who's about to be inaugurated. Congratulations, America. You've done it. You finally voted for change. And that's about all you're going to have left over is some change when my man gets done, right? I want to say first, I want to send shouts out to my sponsor, which happens to be G&J's That Ambrosia. We are back up in business. Yes, y'all, right? So, y'all know I've been dry for the last couple of days, so I'm going to take a sip with y'all right now. That Ambrosia. Listen, it's nothing but raw honey, green tea. Process. It ain't even processed. It's fermented. That magic of fermentation, also known as alchemy, where the healthy bacteria and yeast transforms the green tea and the raw honey into something powerful. All right, so let's keep it up and let's keep it moving. All right, so let's go to the news first. All right, if you go to the Gye-Nyame Journey timeline, check the Gye-Nyame Journey timeline. Follow it. Follow us at Gye-Nyame Journey. It's facebook.com / Gye-Nyame Journey. GYENYAME Journey. JOURNEY. Follow us on Gye-Nyame Journey. Like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Spreaker channel. Oh, speaking of, let me first send shouts out to that. I want to talk about that real quick, right? So right now, y'all know I've been podcasting. I podcast more than I do anything else. I podcast. I got a lot of podcasts. So, Spreaker, which is the company I podcast through, has finally came up with they call it a business plan where you get to podcast on there and you become a partner and you can start making money doing podcasts. So y'all know I got about 1,000 podcasts. I've been doing this maybe since 2010, right, as I spoke about this morning, and it causes constant issues, right? You're wasting time, you're doing this, but I feel I'm on my purpose, and I inspire everybody out there. Find what it is you do. Now, if you have a voice and you might not be that good at writing, or you might do both, I would suggest that you get you a podcast, because podcasting is taking over the industry. It's knocking radio out the box. You need to get into podcasting, right? If you are poor, if you have something to say, if you got friends, interesting friends that you feel the world needs to hear about, you need to start podcasting. Now with Spreaker, they got the partnership, right? they got the partnership, which means you can start making money. So now, y'all gonna laugh at me, right? Because I'm celebrating tonight. You know why? Because yesterday I looked at my earnings because I got on that program. I made 1 cent. 1 cent. Now I want y'all to think about that. 1 cent. I've been doing this all the time. I made 1 cent, and I'm celebrating. You know why? Because that's my goddamn penny. I made it, right? I made it with your help because somebody out there clicked on, looked at the advertisement long enough so that I could get 1 penny. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because this is how business works. This is how black business work, and this is how we're going to get black business to start striving and growing in our community. One person, one entrepreneur at a time. We don't need people looking for jobs in our community. We need people creating them. Make that your purpose. Make it your purpose. If you got a circle of friends and you know they hustlers and you know that they got that you can trust them, make it your purpose to find ways to create jobs for them. You know what I'm saying? That's our responsibility. Nobody else in the world, nobody else in the world is going to take care of us. Some of us got to make it our purpose. That's part of my purpose. When I say nation builder, I need people to understand. See, because I'm really not a nation builder. You know why? Because black folks, we don't have a nation, right? Right now, I'm still at the tribe building phase. But because my elders called it nation building, I call myself a nation builder. But what I'm actually building is a tribe, right? We're going to get a little bit more into that when we get into purpose because I want y'all to get it, right? But yo, let's get to my boy Donald the Great Punk. But first, those of you that on my timeline on Gye-Nyame Journey, I posted up something from an internet place called MakeUsesOf.com. They got the best drones for all budgets in 2017. Those of you that have young people in your life, right, that you love, that you want to look out for their future, get them drones, right? Get them. They don't have to have the big ones where they got to get the license, but if you get them one, getting a pilot's license can't be too bad. I don't think it will hurt their prospects for future endeavors. As a matter of fact, it make you look a little bit better. Make it, you know what I'm saying? But the point I'm saying is that eventually the drone market is another market that we have to start looking into as a community for where we could start creating businesses to create income and get money and resources flowing into our community. And I want y'all to think about it like this. Some of y'all, because they're gonna be delivering packages with drones, somebody got to fly those drones. The UPS driver is on his way out. The drone driver is on his way in, right? Make sure. I think look like Hollywood is on the line. I can't see him though, but what's up, Wood? Now, cab driving, drones are coming in. You got all this auto driving stuff, all this autopilot stuff. So we got to start getting our kids to where they are able to do this. Now I got Cleveland a little small drone. I'm gonna get my nephew a small drone as well. You know what I'm saying? Get them because I'm trying to get them all to start learning how to do that because this is where we need to think, right? They got all these meteorites in space with diamond and gold. They just floating out there for free. Eventually, that's where mining is gonna go. And it's cheaper to send up drones. And who better to drive it than us? Who better to lead that market than us? Right? We got kids who are very talented at this type of stuff. So we need to get them into that. So on the article talks about the best drones for all budgets in 2017. So if you got somebody, and even yourself, learn, I mean, it can't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Nice hobby to get into. Of course, I launched one on my YouTube channel at Hot Tim or Gye-Nyame Journey. You can look it up, but you can find it. It's on my timeline. When you go there, like and subscribe. I'm trying to build up my network on YouTube because I'm bringing out videos on a daily basis, toasting the day, giving information, teaching how to meditate, teaching some of the moves that I do. You know what I'm saying? To try to stay limber. You know what I'm saying? Trying to inspire people to move towards their higher self, right? Self-mastery is what I'm about. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But this one is called That Ambrosial Chronicles, where those of you that are interested in learning how to create your own ambrosia or your own kombucha or your own June, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be showing you the steps that I'm going through. And then if I get enough people interested, especially in Columbus or anywhere else, man, I got scobies. right? I got scobies. If you look on there, that's just one of them. You know what I'm saying? I got scobies, so I could go and get you to start producing your own drink. And this is why. Because I love the fact that some of y'all want to purchase it from me, right? I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because first off, I'm not selling it. I'm saying that. Second off, people who donate to Gye-Nyame or people that give to Gye-Nyame, I give you a gift of my ambrosia. Now, but those of you that want your own, right? Because this is the issue. Some of y'all need to be drinking this on a daily basis, and you might not be able to afford to give to Gye-Nyame all the time. So let Gye-Nyame go on and show you how to do it, for little or nothing, right? I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Because the more of us doing it, maybe we all get together and do a conglomeration and knock Anheuser-Busch up out the mix. You know what I'm saying? Because I done got to the point now where I'm making ambrosia vinegar. I got ambrosia salad dressing. You know, I mix it in my food. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a fermented food and we need that, right? So go and check out the Ambrosia Chronicles. Part 1, part 2 is about to come up where I show you I'm bottling. Um, I'm also doing not tying on there. As you see, my timeline is flooded with me right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about how to tie certain knots. I'm talking about Ujima. I'm talking about each day of the week. So you got plenty of stuff on there for you to check out. I want to send shouts out to brother Robe C, because he looked at one of my posts and he wrote an article on it. I want to thank him for that. So if y'all could give him some shouts out. Sign up for his blog. It's called reviewingreality.blogspot.com. It's the one called Chicago's For the Torture that Torture Produced. I talked about the young people in Chicago and how I felt about it and how I felt about some of the reactions, because it kind of bothered me that many people was out there madder at these kids than they are at Dylan Roof, right? Dylan Roof is a whole nother piece. We're gonna allow them to give him an honorable death. Give me a break. Give me a break. Come on now. He need to rot away in prison, or Pookie need to shank his ass. That's the only way he need to be able to lie. Either dying old in prison or dying shanked, right, by one of us. Period. That's the only way he should be allowed to die. All this other shit is just politics, right? And that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. As a matter of fact, if you want to argue with me, it's 614-556-4535. Once again, lines are open, 614-556-4535. And I know some of y'all out there got something to say. I know some of y'all want to get into the conversation. So let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Yo, this is nation building. Well, tribe building. But y'all know what I'm saying. So let's get to the Great Pumpkin. Russian hacking 2016 election. Ambrosia. Man, I got a refill. So I got my little, this is my personal bottle. I send this out to friends and loved ones and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know I love you if you got one of these, right? I'm thinking about going to the 22 ounce. But hold on. Let's see. Oh, it ain't built up enough carbon yet, but that's cool. I'm still going to drink it. All right. So, all right. Russian hacking in 2016 election. Now, this is the question. What did they hack? So they hacked computers, but what they really upset about is that they feel that Russia hacked you. It ain't the computers. They're more concerned about Russia hacking you. They believe Russia was able to hack your opinions about the election. Man, come on now. But actually, this is not what I want to talk about, but we're going to go through it real quick. President Barack Obama has vowed the U.S. will retaliate against Russia. I want to cut that off. That's a problem. That's a problem with the internet. Ain't even a problem. I could dig it. All right, so because they got to do advertisements, I feel them. But y'all all heard about the hacking piece. I don't even want to talk about the hacking, but what I want to talk about is the allegations that Russia got something on Donald Trump. So let's look at Russians and Donald Trump. Um, I think it was BuzzFeed this week released released some stuff about Trump, right? And his relationship with Russia and why he may be compromised. Let's go and look and see what they're talking about. Some of the stuff that they might be talking about. Or this New York Post. Best thing that happened to Donald Trump all week is that BuzzFeed published a new raw Russian dossier about him. It can't be pleasant to anyone. I don't want that one. Man, I posted it up yesterday. But knowing Donald Trump, he probably sued the internet. Yeah. Hey, you got the money, do that shit. You keep the news up going about you. All right, cool. Let's go here. So you can find it on BuzzFeed. I posted up on my timeline in a second. And make sure we still broadcasting. Yep, we still broadcasting. 614-556-4535. All right. Spy agencies around the world are digging into Trump's Moscow tie. Israel, at least one Western European country, are investigating claims made in a 35-page dossier about President-elect Donald Trump ties to Russia. The dossier alleging that the Russian government has compromised President-elect Donald Trump has not only been circulating at the highest levels of the U.S. government, but also among the intelligence agencies of other countries. Two Israeli intelligence officers told BuzzFeed News, and while the dossier claims haven't been verified, the officer said the intelligence services from other countries have been doing their own digging into Trump's connection to Moscow. You can trust me that many intelligence agencies are trying to evaluate the extent to which Trump might have ties or weaknesses of some type to Russia, one intelligence officer said. Part of Israeli interest, he said, came from wanting to know how much of the intelligence is routinely shares with the United States might be fed to Russia. The document published by BuzzFeed News, let's go to the document, is about to go down. Here on Gye-Nyame Journey, these reports allege Trump has deep ties to Russia. So now, I'm teaching you how to surf the internet. A lot of y'all already know. A dossier making explosive but unverified allegations that the Russian government has been cultivating, supporting, and assisting President-elect Donald Trump for years, and gained compromising information about him has been circulating among elected officials, intelligence agents, and journalists for weeks. They are saying, basically, that Donald Trump is a Manchurian candidate. That's my words. The dossier, which is a collection of memos written over a period of months, includes specific, unverified, and potentially unverifiable allegations of contact between Trump aides and Russian operatives, and graphics claims of sexual acts documented by the Russians. BuzzFeed News reported in the U.S. and Europe have been investigating various alleged facts in the dossier, but have not verified or falsified them. CNN reported Tuesday that a two-page synopsis report was given to the President Obama and Trump. Now, BuzzFeed News is publishing the full document so Americans can make up their own minds about the allegations about the president-elect that have circulated at the highest levels of the government. I want the full document. Yeah, boy. Russian regime has been cultivating, supporting, and assisting Trump for at least 5 years. Aims endorsed by Putin have been encouraged, splits, and division in Western alliance. So basically what they're talking about is that they've been getting him ready for this, right? Because y'all got to understand, West Asians, my fault, West Asians think years in advance. Years in advance. And this is how we got to do. We got to do this with our kids. We got to do this with our families. We got to do this with our tribes. We got to do this with all of the things that we are involved with. Years in advance. So they would start grooming him years ago, getting him ready for this moment, right? Because they want to break the ties between the West and the United States, between West Asia and the United States, because Russia want to have more influence over there. At least that's the claim. All right. So far, Trump has declined various sweetener sweetener real estate business deals offered him in Russia in order to further the Kremlin's cultivation of him. However, he and his inner circle have accepted a regular flow of intelligence from the Kremlin, including on his Democratic and other political rivals. Now, I just need y'all to know Donald Trump is not the only one that's doing this, because this is the point. Just like we are compromising other people's elections, Russia's going to do the same thing. And they're going to try to have influence. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what you do with competition, right? If I'm about to play a big game with you, I want to know what your major plays are. That's the goal. I would love to know that. I'm going to practice as if I don't, and I'm going to get my team ready. But if I have an opportunity to get a look at your playbook, I'm getting that shit, right? I mean, really, that's how you play the game. You know what I'm saying? Because information, they say, if you know yourself, you win 50% of the time. If you only know yourself, you win 50% of the time. If you only know your enemy, you still can only win 50% of the time. But if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you win 100% of the time. Former Russian intelligence officers claim SFB has compromised Trump through his activities in Moscow sufficiently to be able to blackmail him. According to several knowledgeable sources, his conduct in Moscow has included perverted sexual acts which have been arranged, monitored by the FSB. I'm not shocked. Y'all shocked? I'm not shocked. A dossier of compromising material on Hillary Clinton. Hold on, let me make sure we still recording. All right, cool. We still up. All right. A dossier of compromising material on Hillary Clinton has been collated by the Russian intelligence services over many years and mainly comprises bug conversations she had on various visits to Russia and intercepted phone calls rather than any embarrassing conduct. The dossier is controlled by Kremlin spokesperson Peskov directly on Putin's orders. However, it has not as yet been distributed abroad, including to Trump. Russian intention for its deployment is still unclear. Detail. Now, the Russian authorities have been cultivating and supporting U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump for at least 5 years. So they're repeating themselves now. This is I'm reading the highlighted parts. All right, but let's go and read it all. Boom, boom, boom. Speaking to a trusted compatriot in June 2016, sources A and B, a senior Russian foreign day. Now, there's absolutely no evidence of this shit, right? So, I mean, you can make stuff up. I'm not going to even read all of it. You can make some of this shit up, right? So I just want to be clear on that. Now, I'm not for Trump or against, well, actually, I want him to tear this shit up because black folks got to start seeing that it's about us, right? When we get ourselves together, this country will get itself together. But let's see what they got on Donald Trump. All right. Boom, boom, boom. We read that. I'm gonna read the highlight. I don't want to read all this. Kremlin has been feeding Trump and his team valuable intelligence on his opponents, including Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, for several years. The Kremlin's cultivation operation on Trump also had comprised offering him various lucrative real estate development business deals in Russia, especially in relation to the ongoing 2018 World Cup soccer tournament. However, so far, for reasons unknown, Trump had not taken up any of these. Now, this is the point. Government officials need not to be in government about money. When you start running government like a business, you automatically compromise your constituents. Why? Because a business is about making money. Business is about acquiring resources at the expense of people, right? So when you start running a country with profit in mind, then you always going to run over the people. However, there were other aspects to Trump's engagement with the Russian authority. One which had borne fruit for them was to exploit Trump's personal obsession and sexual perversion in order to obtain suitable compromise. Now they got a whole compromise is an agency. It's like an agency, right? In Asia where they try to, well, actually ain't in Asia, but it's people that focus on compromise, where they compromise people, right? So they gather this information like the FBI was doing, how they still doing with the COINTELPRO, how the CIA do. I mean, they mad at Russia for doing the same shit they've been doing forever. Hold on. According to source D, where she had been present, Trump's perverted conduct in Moscow included hiring the presidential suite of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where he knew President and Mrs. Obama, whom he hated, had stayed on one of their official trips to Russia, and to follow in the bed where they had slept by employing a number of prostitutes to perform a golden shower urination show in front of him. The hotel was now that is a ritual. I want you to understand. That is a ritual, right? Hold on. So he hired prostitutes to come in and pee on the bed that President Obama and the First Lady was at so that he could defile the bed. And it's in a sense, that is a ritual that he went through, right? So for some of you conspiracy people out there, y'all need to really look at this. He got these Russian hoes coming up in here peeing on the bed that your black president was laying in. Hold on. All right. Boom, to perform golden shower urination show in front of him. The hotel was known to be under FSB control with microphones and concealed cameras in the main rooms to record anything they wanted. This is in 2013. Trump's unorthodox behavior in Russia over the years have provided the authorities there with enough embarrassing material on the now Republican president candidate to be able to blackmail him if they so wished. Hold on. So they jumped all the way from the golden showers. They don't have proof. They don't have pictures. They don't have anything. Now they jumping down to something that happened in 2013. Now I want y'all to check this out. They are just throwing out these allegations. They don't have any proof. All right, Juan, what's up? What's up, cuz? Juan says that one nasty mode to do that type of shit. Well, actually, that's a power-hungry individual because it's a ritual that in certain, just certain cultures, when you want to push somebody down, when you want to destroy somebody, you have to defile them symbolically first. Then you can start then you have some spiritual power to start defiling them in reality, right? So basically what he did was a ritual where he defiled where this man lay, right? And then he was able to defile the man in reality, defile his legacy. See, because the whole piece now is because now, since the idea is that he really hated Obama, right? The whole piece is now I have to destroy everything that Obama built, right? Not that I agree with the stuff that Obama built, but you got to understand the psychology, because individuals that are really into power are into power on all levels. See, because we think it's just about money, right? That's where we get lost at. Like I was telling you about Ujamaa. Ujamaa is cooperative economics, but we get caught on the fact that we think that economics is just about money. It's about money. No, it's about the control of resources. When we talk about resources, then we start thinking about gold and silver. But what about the minds of the people? What about the spirits of the people? What about your spirit? What about your mind? What about your soul? These are all resources. And if I could plug into it, I could cash out with it. I could use it to my advantage. That's what we got to really start thinking about. We got to start thinking on all those levels, right? Because black folks, spiritually, we're powerful. Mentally, we're powerful. We are being used to run this machine. This is why I keep on saying, once we start in small pockets, start getting our thoughts together, start getting our mind together, right? And start focusing on our purpose as a group, on our Ujamaa, our cooperative economics as a group, on our collective worker responsibility as a group, right? As individuals first, then as a group, right? We will turn this whole country around. Because as we rise, the whole country rises. The whole country got no choice but to rise, right? And in essence, they will begin to follow us. Like he went through the defiling ritual, right? How many of us do that same shit? You know what I'm saying? Many of us, we get a person's picture and do that shit. That's called voodoo. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of y'all call voodoo. Y'all be putting hexes and shit on people. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. He ain't no nastier than some of the niggas on the block. They doing the same shit. They peeing on their girlfriend's picture, feeding it to the dog. You know what I'm saying? Rub it on the gender. I mean, just doing all types of shit to defile people, not understanding what we're dealing with. See, because they do it on a whole nother level. We playing with it. We playing in a kids game with it. They playing in an adult game with it. We got to get adult about how we handle our stuff, right? All right, the Moscow Ritz-Carlton episode involving Trump reported above was confirmed by source, and they got the source there. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of evidence there. He said they blacked that out. He said that she and several of the staff were aware of it at the time. Subsequently, she believed it had happened in 2013. Oh, so she believed it had happened. So she's not even sure. Source E provided an introduction for a company of ethnic Russians operative to Source F, a female staffer at the hotel when Trump had stayed there, who also confirmed the story. Speaking separately in June 2016, see, this is my question. Go grab the hookers. If they still alive, go grab the hookers. Ask them, did you pay? Oh, sure, I certainly did. And it felt good. You know what I'm saying? He paid me a lot of money to do a golden shower on the bed. I'm just wondering if he was up under the golden shower. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering. That's just me. So that Trump's unauthorized behavior in Russia over the years have provided authorities there with enough embarrassing material on a now Republican presidential candidate to be able to blackmail him if they wish so. If they wish. Asked about the criminal report intelligence feed to Trump over recent years and rumors about Russian dossier of compromise on Hillary Clinton, they skip all that. So we gonna let's see everything else. Because it's not a long document. All right. Look like it's a review. I'm not going to go through this for y'all. All right, but y'all can find yourself. Do your research. Find it. All right. Now let's get into what I want to talk about. Our shit. You know what I'm saying? Hell with the Great Pumpkin. We got to get our shit together, right? We got kids kidnapping motherfuckers and charging 300. Why you would see? This is what bothers me, right? A lot of us is mad at these kids, right, for kidnapping that white boy and doing what they did. But is anybody considering the mental capacity of these motherfuckers if they only was gonna kidnap a motherfucker and then ask for $300? Is it just me? Is that just me? Right? Right? We allow them to dehumanize these little kids, but we have not looked into their backstory. Y'all knew about Dylan Roof's backstory before the motherfucker got caught. We don't have anybody going to interview the mother, anybody going to the neighborhood where they live, nobody going to the places where they hung, nobody talking to their friends, or I could be wrong because I don't get into the news. So if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. Has anybody looked into the fucked up environment that these kids exist in? Right? Because the fact of the matter is, some young people are actually getting very frustrated with the education system and the way things are right now. And then with a lot of us running around here with the Chicken Little syndrome screaming, the world is ending, the sky is falling because Trump is president. You 24 years old, you 18 years old, you ain't got no opportunity to get a job, you don't have no skills to get a job. Why the fuck not just go out and do some dumb shit? At least in prison, I'm gonna get some meals. Let me give me a few a few Facebook likes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting up here, man. Listen, y'all need to lay off my kids because people don't even understand, man. Because some of us was involved in some deep fuckery when we was young too. We just didn't have cameras, and I don't even know if we would have taped it if we did. But it's a possibility because this is the shit that everybody's doing, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on now, some of y'all involved in some deep fuckery right now. You know, Lord knows what type of wild shit y'all doing while y'all watching me right now. What you putting in your nose or what you smoking? Come on now. All right, what's up, Steph? So we sitting up here, we talking about this. You know, Obama gave his farewell speech. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all talking about taking me with you. No, let's start looking at the opportunities right now that's arising. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into this right now, man, because this is very important to me. This is why I've been podcasting like crazy. I ain't even got time. I can't even get to work now because I got to get up on this thing and I have to talk because I believe that if we don't start now, we don't start building now. Claude Anderson, I keep going back to this. I remember reading Powernomics and I heard Claude Anderson talk. Claude Anderson told us over 20 years ago that if we didn't get it together in 5 years, we will be a permanent underclass. This is the shit that we leaving for our kids. Come on now. Come on now. Your child can't inherit a job. You can't pass your job down to your child. You know what I'm saying? Good God. You know what I'm saying? We die and we leave our children bills. Y'all ain't tired of that shit? You know what I'm saying? At least our grandparents had excuses. I mean, and they didn't even use them. All right, let me get to what I wanted to talk about today for the show tonight. Wow, there it go. I want to make sure I'm broadcasting. And as I told y'all on Spreaker, I made exactly 1 cent yesterday. 1 cent. And I'm proud of them motherfucker. Let me drink it. I'm about to go get some. I'm about to break out the tequila because I made my penny. Right? One of my business ideas made a penny. Right? That ain't even counting the pennies that I made probably on some of the videos. Right? That I'm doing. Listen. I'm a pennier. Right? And the point is, man, we got to be grateful for what we have. That's what the drama is about. We got to learn to be grateful for what we got. Right? Exactly. Life insurance. See, a lot of other people, you know, get life insurance policies, pay them all the way out. When they die, their kids is getting millions. You know, when we die, our children getting bills. The fuck? It's not. You don't think it's bad enough that I mean, because I'm like this, yo. I love my kids. But financially, I wasn't ready for all that. I'm making it happen. But the point is, you don't think it's bad enough that we bring our children here and we're not really prepared? But then we die and leave them with absolutely nothing. And in most cases, they got to rebuild. Come on now. We better than that. We more powerful than that. Right? Remember, we built pyramids. We were all kings and queens in Africa and blah, 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 blah. Y'all remember all that shit? You know what I'm saying? How is it that we leaving our children paupers? Leaving them poverty. Right? Y'all got to understand, no matter who in the White House, what matters is who's controlling your mind. Is it Russia or United States? Because that's what they're arguing about. That's what the hacks is all about. You know what I'm saying? United States is like, you can't come in and hack our sheeple. You know what I'm saying? You mess with our sheeple, we'll mess with your sheeple. Right? Because the battleground is no longer just the land, it's the minds of the people. What good is having the land if you can't have people to work it? Come on now. Dude, you are what got hacked. You are what everybody is mad about. They didn't hack a ballot box, not one ballot box. They hacked the minds, right? But I must say, I kind of feel sorry for Donald Trump, and I know some of y'all gonna be mad at me, right? Because Donald Trump has had the best of white life, right? He ain't never have to deal with a mob of angry white people, right? Because all these promises he made, right, to these motherfuckers that came from where they were, wasn't voting before, where they came out and he gave them hope. When these motherfuckers get upset after they look at who's to blame, that's why we got to get prepared. I'm just saying, let's get prepared, right? Because first they're gonna try to run through us because it's gonna be our fault, but then it's gonna slowly hit. We got to convince them in a proper way. It's not us. And if you step one more step towards me, I'm gonna take your life because they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be rabid, which means they're not gonna be thinking because they're gonna try to hang. I mean, really, they're gonna be that upset. At least I believe. That's me. I get a little bit dramatic. I need to take some more Ambrose to calm me down. Hold on. Calm me down. Woo! All right. All right, so today is Nia. For those that don't know, this is the Nguza Saba Challenge, and I'm challenging everybody in my circle. Stop calling the days of the week after the Nordic gods. Every time you say Thursdays, you're talking about Thor's Day. Fuck Thor, right? You know, Thor ain't do shit for you at all, right? Except try to hit you with that hammer, right? You know what I'm saying? We need to be celebrating us every day. That's why I say take the Nguza Saba, put it on the days. Like today is Nia. And what is Nia? Nia is purpose, right? So now, what I was thinking on today, I said, damn, I got to do another show because I got to do this, right? I got to keep on doing this. I was thinking, I said, wow, purpose. So I leave the house thinking, dang, purpose. You know, I'm looking for purpose in everything. When I'm celebrating these principles, I'm looking for it in everything, right? And I'm looking around like, wow, purpose. You know what I'm saying? What is the purpose of? We do a lot of shit accidentally. A lot of us live our lives so accidental. It's a fucking shame. Stop living on accident. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? So there's a purpose in everything. When somebody say something to you, it's a purpose in why they spoke. Purpose drives life. Purpose drives life. So if you have not found your purpose, are you alive? I need y'all to really think about that. If you have not found your purpose, my question to you is, are you alive? You know what I'm saying? Or are you a robot working to bring forth somebody else's purpose? As a people, what is our purpose? You know what I'm saying? Hell, we're getting free because when we say our purpose is to get free, what we're saying is to the universe that we are being held back. So we're speaking the reality. We already are free. You know what I'm saying? We're free. Now we got to do things. We got to do things to protect the freedom because freedom needs to be protected, not getting, not gotten, right? Because when you get it, that means you're still a slave. If we still striving for freedom, then we're still slaves. And I'm like this: if we're still slaves, let's be honest with our children. You know what I'm saying? Because slaves work for other people. Slaves help manifest other people's goals and shit like that. That's what slaves do. And if that's what we are, let's be honest. Let's be real about it, right? If you like the video, that's cool. Like it, share it. I'm trying to get it out because I figure if some of these people that's out here talking and shit, you get 50,000 views, so can I. All right, here we go. So, one of the things I was riding because I constantly listen to the news. I was riding, and there was this thing where they start talking about this thing called a hoga because they do this happiness spectrum, this happiness measurement throughout the world, and they find that the Nordic countries are the happiest, and the happiest country that they consistently find is the Netherlands. And the Netherlands was trying to look for why they was happy because you know in those Nordic countries over there, they have a lot of socialism. So free education, free health care. They really are focused on the quality of life, but they couldn't figure out why Denmark was always at the top because all those countries have the same services. So they was like, well, damn, what makes Denmark better? And they start looking at culture. Listen to what I'm saying to you. They start looking at the culture. And they found that the in Netherlands they have a culture, and in the culture, a major thing that they use in the culture is a thing called hookahs, something like that. Not hookah, not hookah. It's hookah. I might be pronouncing it wrong. And basically, what hookah is where during the cold winter nights, because they have, it get cold over there. They have gatherings, right, of family and close friends where they come together and they turn on the fireplace and they turn on the candles and they sit down and they really start having conversations, right? And they had children there and they play games and they tell stories and they start communicating, right? And this is something that goes on this goes Denmark wide, right? So all these people, are happier than everybody else in the world because they recognize the principles that we're talking about as a people. Right? We got to think about how separate we are over here. Right? We come together on holidays, if we even come together then. Because if you count the fact that most of us be on our cell phones, are we really coming together? Are we really talking anymore? Right? I spend a lot of time on my social media. Am I really talking to anybody? Ask yourself, are you really talking to anybody? Right? So one of the things I start thinking about is the purpose of social gatherings and the importance and the quality that they bring into the quality of life. And I start thinking about it as far as culture and happiness. As as Africans in America, we have a very unhappy culture. You know what I'm saying? I understand the environment, the bucket that we are in, right? But that aggression needs to be going up to push against the bucket and not inward towards us, right? We're not talking no more. We're not eating anymore. We're not eating together anymore. We're not gathering like we would back in the past because it was a necessity for survival. We fed into the American dream that is one house, picket fence, 2.5 kids, a dog, and you and her, or her and him, and that's it. When in fact, in order for us to be happy, tribes are necessary. Social gatherings for the tribe are necessary. Coming together to eat in a comfortable space is necessary for us to be able to start generating the happiness. It's hard for many of us to get out here and make it happen because our personal life is so fucked up. So that even when I start getting it moving, I come home to an environment that's toxic, right? Like y'all hear my baby upstairs showing out, right? So I'm about to get off of here in a second because she's gonna make me come up there, right? All right. So the social gatherings are important to life, okay? We got to remember this, and we got to start building on this. So those of you that's listening, those of you that's listening later, y'all need to start doing social gatherings. And listen, for my listeners, because I know all my listeners aren't black. This ain't just for you. This ain't just for the black folks. This is for all of us. We need to start getting together with like-minded people, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need to start having some type of filter where we're able to start finding our kindred spirits, going through stuff together, so that we can start really trusting each other. You know what I'm saying? You just coming and chilling with me on candlelight and with a fire is not enough. We got to do other stuff too. This is why we do camping trips and stuff like that. We about to start doing some more type gatherings where we come together and we can really start discussing not just the history, but really start discussing the myths and the stuff, the stories that our ancestors left us. Some of the stories of some of our elders. It's very important. So I got a call about to come in. So y'all hold on for a second. This is my conference call coming in. So those that want to join the conversation, hit me up at 614-556-4535. Lines are still open. They're empty. I don't know whether y'all scared or what. Stop being scared. Call in, goddammit. Stop it. Stop it. This is your show too. You can have half the penny. You can have half of it. I'll give you an eighth of it. The eighth of the penny. All right. I was riding. I was thinking about the purpose. Like, we still on purpose. We got to be clear that everything has a purpose. And we have to start looking for the purposes for us in it rather than always complaining about it. Right? Because a lot of our blessings come disguised as curses. But because we give up on it, we automatically end up letting it go. And that could have been a key gift. Many of us avoid the pain, like I was talking about the other day, or maybe it was a day. We got people hiding from their purpose. We got people hide because it's a little bit hard. We got people upset and wanting to stop because it becomes a little tedious. We got people who are even scared to start. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, if life is purpose driven, right? And you don't have a purpose, are you really living? All right. If life is composed of lessons, then find the reason. I believe life is composed of lessons. So the major thing we have to do is we have to start finding the reasons, finding the purpose, the why stuff is happening in our life. And once we start getting the lessons and once we start looking for the lessons, because I heard this and this blew my mind. It says a person's life is based on the quality of questions that they ask. My fam, are we asking the right questions? All right, Ms. Jackson says, there's but so much room in that bucket that you were talking about. It doesn't matter what group of people are in the bucket because of the limited space. They would internalize what they were surrounded by. We'll get there. We've got work to do. Word. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we just knocked the goddamn bucket down. You know what I'm saying? After so much pressure, the bucket got to give. We got the tools to break the bucket. I hear you. Because it become cramped and we start fighting amongst ourselves, but that's part of the strategy. But I'm saying this. What if, because we know that our mind shape reality, what if the bucket is an illusion that we've been fed? What if we fighting ghosts, dreams, nightmares? What if that's what we're fighting? Because I'm like this. We're free. We just got to accept that fact and take the responsibility for it. And then hold others responsible for what they owe us. You got my daddy's records. These motherfuckers back. I want my daddy's records. Y'all remember that skit? Some of y'all know the minutes. I want my daddy's records, right? I want my daddy's land, right? I want my daddy's mule and 40 acres, right? We got to really, because really, the only way we're going to be able to do it, we have to be able to have enough strength behind us in our voice to demand that. Um, so we got to start finding the reasons for the bad relationships. We got to start finding the reasons for the bad jobs. We got to start finding the reasons for the poverty. We got what is the lesson in it for you? Because once you identify that, that'll help you apply it to your purpose so that you can move forward. Hold on, y'all. It's about to black out for a second. Oh, I thought it was. That was my. I have an automatic conference call that pop up. Let's make sure everything is still working. Okay, Spreaker's still working. Let's see. All right, the conference still up. So let's go to the line 614-556-4535. We almost done, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. We got a couple more minutes. Let me get back to my thoughts on purpose today. Purpose of we need to be clear on what the purpose of this thing right here for. Social media. What is it for? Right? I believe it's a weapon that we can use. A weapon as well as a band-aid to help heal. So let's start building on it, y'all. We need to start using it because I see a lot of y'all on my timeline. I appreciate the positive that y'all be posting, but we have to realize that we have a lot of immature people in our families that we need to really start talking to about the social media, especially some of the young people, because I'm running into a lot of mean little girls that's on social media. Oh, they mean. Oh, I thought boys were bad. Little girls, give little girls a little bit of anonymity. How you say it? Yeah, anonymity and a way to contact the world, and they will make you feel horrible, man. So, yo, parents, I mean, be careful with the social media around your kids. I mean, I don't even understand. I'm starting to question why do they even need some of this shit? Because they don't do nothing but argue and fight. I mean, come on now. You know, we need to be using this tool to build us up to where we need to be. So that is exactly 1 hour. I want to thank everybody that came out. I would love it if you would share it on your timeline. Let people know to go join Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. You can support us through Patreon. It's GNJ or Gye-Nyame Journey. All you gotta type it in. I'm all up over it. You know what I'm saying? Check out the blog. I got a new book that will be released soon. I'm just going through and making some corrections, and that book will be free for everybody that signed up for the journey, so I'm able to let you know when I'm doing my shows or if I'm gonna be in your area or whatever. Because eventually I'm going out speaking. I'm gonna be taking this ambrosia everywhere with me. I know some of y'all want some of this ambrosia, so you need to bring me to your city. Yeah, that's right. I just sip on that one for a second. All right. Peace and blessing to my cousin. Wine. You stuck it out with me for a whole hour, cuz. I appreciate that. Shouts out to you too, Miss Steph. Thank you for tuning in. I want to send shouts out to Miss Tiff. I saw I thought Hollywood got on for a second. You know what I'm saying? Oh, of course I want to send shouts out to Brian Billingsley, Wisdom. Thank you for tuning in. My son moved out to Nevada. So anybody that's on the journey that's out there in Nevada, be looking for a big tall dude that look like me. You know what I'm saying? And make sure he doing what the fuck he's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So to all of y'all, I toast you. First toast to created by whatever name you choose, whatever name you use. We pour for all of our ancestors, celestial ancestors, ancient ancestors, all those that died during the Ma'afa, our universal ancestors, and our personal ancestors, right? We're going to pour for right now. I toast you right now in this moment, in this day of purpose, right? And also, I toast our future generations for the next 7. And lastly, I toast you. Thank you for joining me. And with that, I am out. And as we say in a journey, 100 years. Peace. All right. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in. With that, we are out.